Well, on the first part of the question, our team, I have a high expectation level for these Northeastern players this year. I thought last year we really built some momentum in the second half of the year, and we had our fingers right on the fourth place position in the standings with basically 3 weekends to go. And the last 5 games, we were close to winning all 5, with the exception of the BC game on ESPNU on a Sunday where they throttled us. But the last 4 particularly, they could have gone either way. And it was really bittersweet to go from 4th place to 9th place in a matter of 5 games, particularly with the effort we gave. I thought we played well. I really wouldn't have changed anything from the streak we were on to the way we played in the last 5 games. We just didn't get any wins, and we were winning those games, 2 weeks prior to that, and we couldn't win them at the end. So I asked the players at the end of the year, what did they learn from last year? They said they learned a lot of experience. That's what they felt. It was a seesaw, up and down year, a lot of adversity, and whether it's Tyler McNeely, who was a captain, or a sophomore like Drew Daniels, they just felt it was kind of a goofy year. But they were pleased that they went through it. They weren't pleased with the ending, but it was a good experience for everybody to go through. Well, honestly, the team chemistry reminds me a little bit of what happened, 2 years ago when the McCauley and Liotti and Vitale and Thiessen were on that team. There just seems to be a camaraderie and a togetherness that was absent last year. And it's funny, everybody focuses on the individual players and, what the expectations are. But, I really believe in coaching at so many different levels that the chemistry of a group is so critical to give on that group some life, some visibility, some direction. And if that growth is fractured in any way, then the path that you take represents that lack of cohesiveness. And that's what happened last year. We were just trying to find an identity, and I think it really got exacerbated by the injuries. So a lot of young guys that maybe didn't have as much of a role in a normal year had too big of a role. And it gave them maybe a little bit of a superficial sense of confidence, and there wasn't enough leadership up top to really try and, put those guys in their place, so to speak, and not in a negative way, but in a role way. Like, here's what your role is, what you're going to do to be successful. So it was a unique year, and I think you're right about the leadership part. And Tyler McNeely, I think, is more comfortable in that role. He was a junior last year, and anybody starting out any season with a freshman goalie, it doesn't feel that great about it. I mean, that's the bottom line. That's the process that is extremely difficult to navigate around. And we don't have that problem now. We have an experienced goalie, and we have another guy who comes in, Clay Witt, to back him up, along with Brian Mountain, who's an experienced guy now.
The depth of the league is very good. It keeps getting deeper and deeper, I think, each year. It's so competitive. Our expectations are to get out of 10th place, obviously. I'm not happy with where we've been the last 2 years, and our goal going in is obviously to get out of that and make the playoffs. So that's about as simple as it gets, but that's what we're engaged to do, and I think the kids are excited. They've been very engaged for the month of September. They had a good summer, good spring, good summer. We feel as though we made some improvements last year from 08-09, which was really a disaster. It was one of those years that was just, it was bad and it got worse, and we just couldn't seem to ever really get it together, except for a short time in January. But I think we did a lot of good things last year. We were able to kind of get back to a defensive structure and create a defensive base, and now we need to go forward. We need to score more goals. But our goals are, very simple. It's not enjoyable to be in 10th place. I don't like being in 10th place. It burns in your stomach all summer long, and so our goal as a group is to come out, play good hockey, and find ourselves in the top 8, and we'll take it from there. Well, we've got a couple of seniors. I think Kyle McKinnon, Ian O'Connor, Eric Byer. Those are 3 seniors. Jordan Kremer, Ben Farah, Matt Germain. Those are 6 seniors that will play a lot of hockey. Your seniors need to be your leaders, but I think we've got some developing leaders in the junior class. Matt Berglund, who's a very, very good player. Danny New. Those guys need, as juniors, also to begin to sort of flex their muscles as leaders, and I think they're growing and maturing. Alex Valachek and Timmy Schaller in the sophomore class. Aaron Jamnik. I think there's a group of guys that need to, sort of be those mentors and also kind of create and maintain the heartbeat of your team. We've got a lot of energy in our room, and our freshman class is very energetic, and I think it's a good mix of guys from the seniors right down to the freshmen. Is a good fit. And I always say this is really the first group of kids that we've recruited. When I was hired in July of '05, last year's class was the first class we had put together, but dynamics have changed. Everybody's 2 years out in recruiting, so we worked hard to put a class together that ended up being our senior class last year. But this is the first group that we've had a couple of years to really piece together and watch and evaluate. So I think they fit well as personalities. There's a lot of energy in our room. Obviously, your seniors need to be the guys that drive the engine and the heartbeat of your team, but I think we've got some juniors and sophomores that need to add to that. And our freshmen also have to be a piece of it because there's an energy level to your freshmen. So I think going into this year, really since Tony Zancanaro's group in 06 and 07, this is really the best fit of core leadership and a group of guys that have really bought in and believe in one another. Yeah, and you go into every year, and that's your most important position. Certainly makes a lot of coaches very smart. Good goaltending at every level, and Alex has been real good. He came in at Christmas time of '09 or January of '09, and he gave us a real shot in the arm right away. Went on a little bit of a run over 4 games. I think he got tired. It got overwhelming. But last year he was good. He was solid. He was consistent. And you expect his continued growth, and not only on the ice. I think what I like most about Alex's progression is his mental progression. So there's an ability level to him, a physical ability, but mentally he's beginning to develop. So that's the most key position. And we're really happy with Justin Gates' growth, too, over the last couple of years. So they're both juniors. That's our 1-2 punch. Russ Stein's our third goalie, and he's a sophomore developing. But those two guys that continue to get better, they're a real good partnership. They support each other. Alex is 1 and Gates' 2, but both guys can go in and give us the kind of goaltending we need to give us a chance to win every night. And so we're excited about that. When you look at our team and our season, we feel real good about where we're at in the net. Those guys need to continue to get better and continue to improve mentally and physically, but they really give us a good 1-2 combination.
Well, we're excited to get going, Dan. Obviously a very exciting time. Media Day is kind of the real kickoff for the season, so we're pleased to be here in Boston. And, you know, we're very excited about our season. We've got a young team up front, but we're very encouraged with what we've seen so far. I think we're going to be led by our defensive core, almost all of our guys returning this year, and certainly our goaltender, Rob Mador. As far as the league goes, you know, I think it's going to be a tight race in different spots this year. Maybe not as quite a tight a race as it was last year from top to bottom. But I think you'll still have that competitiveness every weekend going head to head. It's going to be a tough league again for sure. I think so. I mean, that has to be our strength right away. It was supposed to be our strength last year out of the gates, and I think we just had a tough start. A lot of inconsistency, not only with our goaltending but also with our defensive play. And I think this year the challenge is to start where we finished off last year in the playoffs and in the NCAA tournament. You're right about size. I think our average size on the blue line is 6'3", 217. But more importantly, those guys have experience, they have skill, and they're going to be relied on to add some offense to what we lost to graduation. Well, the thing I've been most impressed with the freshmen, now sophomores, is what they did in the off season. You know, that says a lot about their commitment, a lot about their focus, that they're not taking anything for granted. That, you know, a player like Sebastian Stahlberg, you know, on the all-rookie team had a tremendous second half in particular, but a great overall year. Spent a lot of time improving himself in the off season. So that says a lot to a coaching staff and to his teammates that he's ready to take the next step in his development.